My love, there is one single sentence, and when a man says it to you, it can completely shift the direction of everything between you. By the time you reach the end of this message, I will tell you exactly what that sentence is and why it has the power to turn a man who was only circling around you into someone who becomes fully drawn to you. But before we reach that point, you must understand something essential that will change the way you see and manage relationships from this moment forward. I'm going to speak to you directly and honestly because at my age, I don't have the patience to decorate the truth. Here is your first practical lesson for today. If a man shows interest in you but never truly chooses you, then you should not choose him either. It really is that straightforward. Keep that deep in your heart. That is not a lack of confidence. That is emotional clarity. And if you stay with me a little longer, you will not only learn what men actually say when they are truly interested, but also how to tell in real time whether he sees you as a priority or just an easy option. And before we continue, if anything I've said so far has touched something inside you, leave a comment below and tell me what part of the world you're listening from, whether it is Mexico, Colombia, Spain, or any place where women are tired of accepting the minimum. And if you know someone, a friend, a sister, a co-worker who needs this message, share it with her. What we are talking about today isn't only for you, it is for all women reclaiming their strength and their voice. Let me share something that has become clearer and clearer after more than 40 years of working with people, hearing countless stories, and watching emotional highs and lows unfold. Women are incredibly smart when it comes to solving complicated problems, planning ahead, and noticing small details. But when it comes to reading the signals of a man they desire, that intelligence sometimes disappears. Do you want to know why? Because something called confirmation bias takes over. In simple terms, you see only what you want to see. When you like a man, your mind starts searching desperately for even the smallest signs that he might feel the same. A late text suddenly seems like a secret confession. A quick look becomes a sign of destiny. A casual "we'll talk later" sounds like a promise of something bigger. My love, that is not intuition. That is self-deception wearing a nice outfit. I'm not saying this to discourage you. I'm saying it so you can wake up from the illusion that keeps so many women stuck. If you want healthy, grown relationships where you do not need to beg for attention or keep asking for clarity, then here is a truth that very few people dare to say out loud. A man who is honestly interested does not make you guess. He does not keep you waiting until he feels like responding. He does not appear and vanish like a shadow in the night. A man who truly wants you is clear, steady, and shows you through actions that he has chosen you, not that you should feel lucky he remembered to message you. And this isn't only emotional advice, it is science. When a man is emotionally drawn to someone, his brain releases a wave of chemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, that naturally pushes him to seek you, talk to you, and build something with you. He doesn't need reminders. His whole system pulls him toward you. That is how real interest works. So if you find yourself always reminding him you exist, always starting the conversations, always juggling to hold his attention, let me gently tell you something. He is not truly invested. He is simply entertained. He is available for distraction, but he is not choosing you, and you deserve far more than being someone's backup option. But that doesn't mean you should sit still like a statue waiting for men to come to you. It's not about games or tricks you find in some article online. It's about something deeper and more meaningful. It's about choosing yourself first. When you choose yourself, your peace, your time, your dignity, your presence changes. And I don't mean energy in a mystical way. I mean something tangible. When you respect yourself, you radiate calm confidence. And confidence, my dear, is the strongest form of attraction there is. Much stronger than any perfume or fancy outfit. A man can sense when a woman knows her worth, knows what she expects, and knows what she will not accept. And trust me, that affects him deeply. I have seen it thousands of times. A woman comes to me heartbroken because the man she spent months messaging suddenly disappears. She blames herself endlessly. What did I do wrong? What should I have said? How could I have kept him from leaving? And then something unexpected happens. She lets go. She stops chasing someone who never appreciated her and starts putting her attention on her own life. And many times, the same man returns. But here is the twist. By then, she no longer wants him. In the process of letting go, she discovers something far more valuable: her own strength. A woman who knows her strength accepts nothing less than what she truly deserves. That is the real transformation. It's not about catching a man. It's about becoming the kind of woman who naturally attracts men who meet her standards. But let's return to the practical side, because I know you want to understand what men actually say, do, and show when they are genuinely interested. That's exactly what we'll explore now. And if what you've heard so far has opened your eyes just a little, give this video a like and subscribe, because we share honest, direct content like this every week. Now, what does a man say when he is truly interested? Here is the first clue, often ignored. A man who is genuinely interested speaks about the future. He uses language that includes both of you. He talks about plans, ideas, and activities that involve the two of you together. He doesn't talk about unrealistic dreams or grand gestures he can't fulfill. He simply weaves you into his daily life. He might say things like, "Next weekend when we go," or "I want you to meet this person," or "We should try that place." These simple lines matter. They show he is placing you in his world. Because men who are only passing through never talk about the future. They keep everything safely vague. We'll see. Maybe later. Let's see what happens. Those are signs of someone keeping you at a distance. A man who values you does not leave you floating in uncertainty. Next, a man who is genuinely interested asks real questions. Not just polite ones like, "How was your day?" but deeper questions that show he wants to understand who you are. He asks about your childhood, your dreams, your fears, what makes you happy, what frustrates you, what inspires you. And most importantly, he remembers what you tell him. Here is the real difference. Anyone can ask questions to be polite, but a man who cares remembers your answers. If you told him weeks ago about an important event, he will ask how it went. If you mentioned your favorite music, he will send you something related. If you shared something that's been troubling you, he will check on you later to see how you're feeling. That is real interest. That is someone who listens because you matter. The difference between a man who is genuinely interested and one who is simply passing time is enormous. And now let's talk about communication, because this is where many women get confused. There is a common idea that men don't like talking, that they're naturally quiet. And while it's true that many men are not as verbally expressive as women, here is the truth. When a man is truly interested, he finds the words. He might not give long speeches, but he will express what he feels. He will tell you he enjoys being with you, that he likes your company, that you're on his mind. He will not leave you guessing for months whether you are just a friend or something more. A man who truly wants you in his life makes it clear. And if he doesn't, it is either because he's uncertain or because he doesn't want anything serious. In both situations, the answer is the same. Move on. Another strong sign a man is genuinely interested is this. He introduces you to the important people in his life. He brings you around friends. He talks about you to his close circle. He invites you to events, gatherings, dinners. Why does he do this? Because he wants the people he values to know who you are. Men, even unconsciously, seek approval from their circle when it comes to someone they care about. It's part of how they build connection. So if you've been seeing someone for months and you remain a secret, if you haven't met anyone important in his world, if his social media never shows he shares time with you, then that says something very clear. It's not about shyness or wanting privacy. It means he doesn't see you as a meaningful part of his life. You can explain it away, but the truth remains. And facing that truth early protects your heart. Since we're discussing signals, let's talk about one more thing many women misinterpret. Intensity in the beginning. You meet a man and everything feels like a rush. He texts constantly, gives you endless compliments, wants to see you all the time, and makes you feel incredible. After a long period of emotional emptiness, that kind of attention feels amazing, but here is the hidden danger. That intensity is often not real love. It is excitement, a temporary high, and when the high fades, he may pull away or vanish. Some men fall in love with the feeling of falling in love, not with the person. They love the thrill, the chase, the early spark. But when things settle into real life, into responsibility, into commitment, their interest fades. A mature man does not love like a firework that explodes and disappears. He builds interest slowly, calmly, consistently. He is steady, not all flame and no substance. And that, my love, is the kind of interest that lasts, stays with them. So next time he says something that feels deeper than it sounds, pay attention. When his tone softens, when he shares something vulnerable, when his compliments reflect who you are rather than only how you look, those are the moments when his real feelings come through. You don't need him to declare love like a movie scene. You just need to notice when he speaks naturally, because that's when honesty shows itself. And when a younger man begins to care deeply for an older woman, he may not announce it loudly, but if you listen closely, you will notice it in quiet moments, in unplanned words, in gentle phrases he didn't intend to reveal. Older women, according to research mentioned in Psychology Today, naturally offer emotional steadiness that many younger partners struggle to provide. Their life experience, emotional balance, and steady presence create a comfort that men find grounding. If he says something that hints at this, even if he laughs afterward, it's rarely a joke. It usually indicates his heart is leaning toward you in ways he hasn't fully admitted to himself. When a man says, "You understand me like no one else," it's never just flattery. It's recognition. It means the connection has moved from the surface to something deeper, something emotional. It means you see him in a way he isn't used to being seen. And statements like this carry meaning far beyond the words themselves. They show you are no longer just part of his day. You have become a steady emotional anchor. And here's why that matters. Emotional closeness lasts longer than physical attraction. Chemistry may spark interest, but emotional connection is what keeps it alive. When he says, "You understand me," it means you reflect his inner world without judgment. That is rare and powerful. Then there's the line, "I can't imagine my life without you." It may sound poetic, but pay attention to the word now. That single word shows transformation. Your presence has subtly become part of his everyday life. Quietly, without being obvious, you are no longer an option or an afterthought. You are woven into the rhythm of his daily life. Whether it's morning coffee, late night conversations, or simply knowing you are there, you have become part of his internal world. Relationship expert Dr. Jen Mann explains that when someone includes another person in future plans, it shows a deep emotional bond. So when a man says this, it's more than romance. It's acknowledgement. He's mentally and emotionally including you in what he sees ahead, even if he doesn't realize it. Another sign is, "You make me want to be better." Men rarely change because of pressure, but they do evolve when they feel safe, respected, and encouraged. Older women often create this energy. They challenge without criticizing, support without controlling, and inspire without demanding authority. If a man feels motivated to grow simply because you exist, that is a clear sign of your influence. A University of Wisconsin study found that men in relationships with older women reported higher motivation for personal growth than those with younger women. When he says this, he is acknowledging not only your presence, but also the way he's becoming a better version of himself because of you. Then there's, "I told my mom about you." At first, it might seem casual, but it's significant. Men don't casually share details about just anyone with family. If he mentions you to his mother or siblings, it means you matter. You've moved from private to public in his life. You are someone he wants his inner circle to know. It may not be a formal introduction, but it shows importance. A 2020 Match.com survey found that over 76% of men felt a stronger bond with women they introduced to family. His words symbolize integrating you into the structure of his emotional life. Another vulnerable phrase is, "You're the only person I can talk to about this." When a man shares fears, doubts, or hidden worries, he is trusting you with something sacred, his emotional truth. Men are often taught to hide feelings and manage problems internally. So opening up is not weakness, it is trust. In that moment, you are not just a partner, you are his emotional refuge. This demonstrates emotional exclusivity, a connection stronger than physical attraction alone. It means you are not an option. You are the person he turns to when life feels heavy. Another important statement is, "I don't care what people think." When a man says this about your relationship, especially if there's an age difference or unusual dynamic, it shows he values your connection more than social expectations. Men are often taught to care about appearances, but when he prioritizes you over public opinion, it demonstrates depth and courage. A 2021 eHarmony report found that couples with noticeable age differences who were emotionally close were more resilient to outside judgment. When he dismisses criticism, he's essentially saying you are worth it, both privately and publicly. One of the most revealing things a man can say is, "I've never felt this way before." It may sound like a line from a movie, but if sincere, it reflects your impact. Your presence has stirred feelings he didn't expect, emotions that challenge old patterns. Older women often carry a calm, grounding presence that feels sincere and deeply comforting, rare qualities in a world full of pretense. When he says this, it means you've reached a part of his heart he thought was closed. These statements may seem casual or familiar, but listen carefully. Men often express feelings subtly, showing more than speaking. When they speak from the heart, their words are meaningful. Even if said jokingly or in fragments, it signals something deeper. You are not just someone he enjoys being around. You are becoming an emotional anchor. That kind of bond is not easily broken. He may not always articulate his feelings clearly or understand their depth, but when he feels safe, respected, and understood, he opens in ways that surprise even him. A mature, emotionally intelligent woman creates this openness not by demanding it, but through her grounded presence. She listens without judgment, encourages without control, and remains rooted in self-respect. If he says things like this, do not ignore them. They are signs that he is feeling, connecting, and emotionally invested. He is connecting on a level most men reserve for only one woman, the one who not only touches his heart, but also validates his inner world. While it may sound familiar, when genuine, it carries weight. Most men are not naturally expressive, especially when deeply invested. They show emotions through actions more than words. So when a man speaks from the heart, it is rarely casual. He genuinely feels something meaningful. He is signaling that the connection is real, grounded, and significant. When he says, "I wish we'd met sooner," it isn't about age or lost time. It's about realizing how much your presence has added to his life. Weeks may pass, and he might disappear for a while. His flame glows steadily, even when quiet. Here's a critical insight to save heartache. Notice how a man treats you when he no longer has to impress. After the courting phase, when he's not in seduction mode, that's when his true character appears. Does he still treat you with respect, include you in decisions, make you feel valued? Or does he become careless, indifferent, or selfish? Many men show their best side during the chase. The man who truly belongs with you is the one who treats you well when nothing is at stake. That is the man worth your time. He treats you with care, not to win you, but because he genuinely values you. Respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Without it, nothing lasts. Chemistry, passion, and attraction matter, but without respect, relationships fail or become harmful. Respect is shown through actions. A man who respects you listens, even when he disagrees. He doesn't interrupt, mock, or belittle you. He values your time. He doesn't cancel without reason, arrive late repeatedly, or make you wait unnecessarily. He protects your reputation, doesn't share private matters, and honors your boundaries. He doesn't manipulate emotionally to get his way. A man who respects you stands by you. He doesn't stay silent when others insult you. Respect is not negotiable. You set the standards from the start and enforce them with consistent action. Saying you won't accept something is meaningless if you remain when limits are crossed. Many women falter here, creating boundaries on paper that collapse when tested. No one respects boundaries you don't uphold yourself. Credibility matters, and in relationships, it is everything. Ask honestly, do your actions match your words? Saying, I deserve respect is one thing. Acting as if you believe it is another. Acting with belief means speaking up when wrongs occur, stopping someone who crosses a line, and leaving when treated unjustly. Simple, yet hard. Attraction makes it difficult to let go of someone special. But the truth is, it is far more painful to remain with someone who doesn't value you than to leave someone who isn't right for you. The pain of staying is slow, eroding self-worth and making you question your own value. The pain of leaving is sharp but brief, followed by freedom, clarity, and peace. Men are generally less emotionally expressive than women. Many have been conditioned to hide vulnerability. That's why moments when they open up emotionally are meaningful. Certain statements show deep connection. For example, "You make me want to be a better man" is transformative. When a man admits that your presence inspires him to grow, it is powerful. Men do not say this lightly. They reserve it for women who challenge, inspire, and push them to improve. It signals that you hold a significant place in his emotional life. But words alone are not enough. Some men use beautiful phrases to keep you emotionally tied while still unsure of commitment. Words without matching actions are merely poetry, not reality. Celebrate meaningful words, but stay alert. Observe if actions match words. Other revealing statements include, "I've never met anyone like you." If genuine, it means you break his old patterns, offering something unique and real. Context matters. If said on a first date to charm, it may be rehearsed. But if said after deep connection, it carries weight. Similarly, "I trust you" is simple but profound. Trust is hard for men. Giving it signals you are safe and valued. Classic phrases like "I like you" or "I love you" have lost meaning for many, so focus on timing, tone, and behavior when words are absent. True love is shown in ordinary choices, not just dramatic moments. Statements about family like "I want you to meet mine" reflect integration into a broader life. Men don't include family casually. Inclusion is a sign of potential future. Do not assume marriage. See it as one positive signal among many. Timelines vary. Some men know after months, others years. You set your timeline. Clarity and self-respect are key. A man who genuinely wants a relationship acts decisively. If someone has been indecisive for months or years, they know what they want. They just don't want it with you. Don't settle for crumbs when you deserve the whole feast. Recognize your value and make choices accordingly. The truth is that you can only offer the best parts of yourself, and after that, his choices are his own to make. You cannot force a man to see your value. You cannot make him choose wisely, and you cannot push him to appreciate you correctly. But you can control who you are, how you carry yourself, and the kind of presence you bring into every moment. That alone changes far more than people realize. It shifts the entire dynamic. Step 1 is developing your self-worth, and not the shallow type that depends on likes, compliments, or outside approval. It is the deep internal kind that grows slowly and quietly, the type that is built from honest self-care and steady respect for yourself. A woman who has healthy self-worth does not need constant reassurance. She doesn't panic when her phone is silent, she doesn't create stories in her mind when someone takes time to reply, and she doesn't measure her value by how much attention she gets. She knows who she is, even when no one is watching, and because of that inner certainty, she becomes magnetic. She naturally attracts mature, steady men, and naturally repels the ones who are not ready for someone emotionally grounded. Self-worth is not built overnight, and it is not built with a handful of affirmations whispered in front of a mirror. It grows from the small choices you make every day. It grows when you treat yourself well, when you speak to yourself with kindness, and when you place your needs at the center of your life instead of at the bottom. Your mind starts to pay attention. Slowly, your thoughts begin to shift. Every time you stand up for yourself, every time you set a boundary, and every time you choose peace over chaos, you strengthen the belief that you matter. That is your brain rewiring itself little by little. That is how inner confidence is formed. Once that foundation exists, everything in your life begins to look different. The second step is creating your own life, a full life, a meaningful life that doesn't orbit around a man. Nothing weakens attraction faster than a woman who abandons her own world and makes him her only source of joy and purpose. If your mood rises and falls depending on whether he texts or calls, if your happiness depends entirely on his attention, the relationship loses its balance and the connection starts to feel tight instead of natural. A woman who has her own goals, passions, friendships, dreams, and interests feels complete, not because someone made her complete, but because she chose to build herself from within. And here's the part that many people overlook. When you become deeply involved in your own life, when you focus on growth and self-improvement, you automatically become more attractive. Not because you're pretending to be unavailable, but because your time becomes genuinely valuable. Your presence becomes meaningful. You stop chasing anyone because you are too engaged in becoming the best version of yourself to revolve around someone else's inconsistency. The third step is learning how to communicate clearly. This is essential. Many women feel frustrated that men don't understand what they need. But when asked whether they expressed it in a calm, direct way, the answer is often no. Expecting someone to know your needs without telling them is not communication. It is wishful thinking. Men cannot read minds, and silence filled with expectations does not help anyone. If something hurts you, say it. If you need something, express it respectfully. There is a difference between accusing someone with harsh words and sharing your feelings without blame. For example, saying "you never pay attention to me" creates defensiveness. But saying "I feel we aren't spending much time together lately, and I would appreciate more shared moments" creates understanding and cooperation. One blocks progress, the other opens the door to healing and change. Another important point is maintaining your independence. This mistake happens often. A relationship begins, and slowly a woman starts giving up her world piece by piece. She stops seeing friends because he doesn't like them. She abandons her interests because he doesn't share them. And she shapes herself around his preferences, believing that doing so will make the relationship stronger.